Okay, so these are just the first mechanics jokes that you find when you look on the internet at 2nd of August 2015. Guy walks into my parts store, says, "I need a gas cap for a Kia." I said, "Okay, that sounds like a fair trade." My wife isn't very bright. The other day she was at the store, and just as she was heading for our car, someone stole it. I said, "Did you see the guy who did it?" She said, "No, but I got the license plate." One time a cop pulled me over for running a stop sign. He said, "Didn't you see the stop sign?" I said, "Yeah, but I don't believe everything I read." A car jumper cable walks into a bar. The barman says, "I'll serve you, but don't start anything." A defendant is in front of a magistrate on a speeding charge. "I understand you were doing 60 in a 30-mile-per-hour zone," says a magistrate. "That's a lie," replies the defendant. "I wasn't doing 30. I wasn't even doing 10. In fact," "Hold it," says the judge. "I'm going to fine you £50 before you back into something." A driver pulls up by a traffic warden. "If I park on these double yellow lines and pop over the road to post a letter, will you give me a ticket?" asks the driver. "Of course I will," replies the warden. "But these other cars are parked on double yellow lines," argues the driver. "I know," replies the warden, "but they didn't ask me to give them a ticket." A man comes home from work and is greeted by his wife. She tells him she has good news and bad news about their car. The man says, "Okay, give me the good news." His wife replies, "The good news is the airbag works." A man is out on the interstate having an evening drive with his sports car. He decides to open her up and the needle jumps to 120 miles per hour. Suddenly he sees a flashing red and blue light behind him. He thinks about outrunning the cop, accelerates for a few seconds, then comes to his senses and pulls over. The officer comes over to check his license. "I've had a tough shift," says the officer, "and this is my last pullover. I don't feel like more paperwork, so if you can give me an excuse for your driving that I haven't heard before, you can go." Last week my wife ran off with a cop," says the man. "And when I saw your car, I was afraid he was trying to give her back." "Have a nice night," says the officer. A man is taking his son to school when he inadvertently makes an illegal turn at the lights. "Oh, I just made an illegal turn," the man says. "It's okay, Dad," replies the son. "The police car behind us did the same thing." An old man is out driving on the motorway when his mobile rings. It's his wife calling. She says she's just heard a news report about a car that's driving the wrong way up the motorway. "I know," says the old man, "but it's not just one car, it's hundreds." Cars are almost foolproof, as long as the fool stays awake at the wheel. Harry died with his boots on. Sadly, one was on the accelerator cable at the time. Harry discovers that someone has backed into his Jaguar while it's been in the car park. He finds a note under the windscreen. It says, "Sorry about wrecking your car. The policeman watching me from over the road thinks I'm leaving you my details, but I'm not." What do you get if you cross a Chrysler with a Fiat? A big car that doesn't start. As a trucker stops for a red light, a blonde catches up. She jumps out of her car, runs up to his truck and knocks on the door. The trucker lowers his windows and she says, "Hi, my name is Heather and you are losing some of your load." The trucker ignores her and proceeds down the road. When the truck stops for another red light, the girl catches up again. She jumps out of her car, runs up and knocks on the window. Again the trucker lowers his window as if they've never spoken. The blonde says brightly, "Hi, my name is Heather and you are losing some of your load." Shaking his head, the trucker ignores her again and continues down the road. At the third red light, the same thing happens again. All out of breath, the blonde gets out of her car, runs up, knocks on the window. The truck lowers the window. Again she says, "Hi, my name is Heather and you are losing some of your load." When the light turns green, the trucker revs up and races to the next light. When he stops this time, he hurriedly gets out of the truck, runs up to the blonde. He knocks on her window and as she lowers it, he says, "Hi, my name is Kevin. It's winter in Minnesota and I'm driving the salt truck." The mechanic was removing a cylinder head from the motor of a Harley motorcycle when he spotted a well-known heart surgeon in his shop. The surgeon was there waiting for the service manager to come take a look at his bike when the mechanic shouted across the garage, "Hey Doc, can I ask you a question?" The surgeon, a bit surprised, walked over to where the mechanic was working on the motorcycle. The mechanic straightened up, wiped his hands on a rag. "So Doc, look at this engine. I opened its heart. Take the valves out, repair any damage, and then put them back in. And when I finish, it works just like new. So how come I get a small salary and you get really big bucks when you and I are doing basically the same work?" The surgeon paused, smiled, leaned over and whispered to the mechanic, "Try doing it with the engine running."